Go Scorchers.
It's a lot better than last year. Last year was really tough. It hurt. I think that's what motivates us and inspires the guys that are here again. Is we don't want to feel the way we felt last year. You know, it's a happy household for anybody that in sport when you're winning. And you know, people might think that sometimes you can leave your job at the workplace and go home and just live, but in the world that we live in, it's not very easy because you're always thinking about the next game. So like if you take Christmas, for example, it's not really a Christmas break because we practice throughout. You know, we played a game just before Christmas. We play a game on the 28th. We play a game on the 1st. We play a game on the 4th or 5th. So there's no break for us until obviously come the summer. So winning brings that feel-good factor, and that's what we want to aim to maintain for long periods of the season. With the cup competition, there weren't many games that we never had a chance of winning. So the frustrating part was just kind of like learning how to close out games and hold on to leads. So, but with the start of the championship coming and making a couple of changes, I think we managed to find a couple of key components that make us almost complete. Lavelle Cook is a guy that I've spoken to from the first time I saw him playing for London Lions. I was a fan of the way he plays, you know, and just somehow never ever managed to get him here. But this time round, he's the first person I thought about when I needed to make a change. It was a brief conversation, you know, and also with Lavelle, you know, credit to him at the point that he's in his career, he wasn't really focused on the financial side of it. He was about getting his career going in the right direction, showing what he's capable of. And, you know, you can't ask for much more than that. So he's come in and energized us. Great guy around the locker room, easygoing, but really fun to coach.
We won the game. It was a game of runs down the stretch. They came out early, and we just fought a tough one. And we end up getting a win. It felt great. Just to be here in the flow of things, it felt great. So hopefully we use that momentum and go into the next game.
You used to play for Bristol and London Lions. So what was it like beating your previous team?
It was sweet, but you know, it's just a game. Now we're 1-1. We're just using that to keep moving forward.
And I mean, you've played against the Scorchers before as well. What sort of attracted you to coming to join the team?
Just the relationship that I have with Coach Creon. We've been in contact, and this was the opportunity, so we both took that opportunity, and now I'm here. I feel like I bring aggressiveness. I'm vocal on and off the court, so I bring confidence to my teammates, you know. So yeah, that's what I feel like I bring. Offense and defense. Yeah, the fans definitely gave us momentum throughout the game. It's an up and down game, but we have the home court advantage, so the fans definitely helped us out big time.
Hey, I'm actually zooming. You've got some amazing tattoos.
On my eyes? They say don't sleep, even though I like to sleep. But it's not literally, it's figuratively. So yeah, it's like don't underestimate me, kind of, you know, like an underdog. Thank you all. I appreciate you all for coming out, and I'll see you all next time.
And then shortly after that, Devontavious, obviously known as Uno. I looked at him as a rookie, but we couldn't get a deal done, and he ended up at Plymouth. You know, I think he was on a Plymouth team with really good players, which, you know, Josh Wilshere. You know, they had probably, I think Plymouth had about 3 guys in the top 4 in scoring that he had to play behind. So I think there's a lot to come from him, and you know, it's evident in the fact that Glasgow Rocks tried to sign him, and then something went wrong with the paperwork, so that's why he never signed. But it's yeah, I'm really excited to have him, and he's also going to learn how to naturally play that point guard position. But the style of basketball we want to play, I think he'll just fit in perfectly.
Yeah, first half, I was just looking to get guys open shots, and then second half I slowed down and I started to play my game. Yeah, I just started playing at my own pace and was able to get some shots. First play, I passed to Skyler, he got open 3. Then they stopped the clock like 2 or 3 times. I don't know what was wrong with it, but we had to get rolling somewhere. It's an honor. Creon, before I came here, he told me I was gonna have a big role. I'm just coming to play and fill in shoes. Yeah, the fans was great tonight. The fourth quarter was kind of rocky. We was able to get some stops. We gave up a couple offensive rebounds and a couple threes, and we knew once we started getting rebounding, guarding the three-point line, we was going to be all right.
Now you also have Mike, who we saw briefly at the last home game. It was quite a good reason that you didn't put him on court during that game.
Yeah, Mike had actually arrived that day, and we weren't too sure about where we were fitness-wise with a couple of the other guys. Said to Mike, look, ideally we wouldn't kit you up, but we just need you as backup on the bench for that game. And he kind of understood that you want to give a player a chance to, settle down, get his legs under him, and so putting him on the court after a day of travel is not ideal. But he's settling in now, and we will need him. In some games he might be too big to match up with people, but there are a lot of games that he's going to have to play a really important part for us. It's all about basketball matchups, and London Royals have the Lithuanian twins, who are pretty big. So I just looked at it as what other teams had and how we'd need to match up. We ran into a really big Worcester team the one game, and that's where it was clear to see that with Amelia Williams there, Jordan Williams being there, we needed to have some size, especially on the defensive end.
And let's talk about those departures. Was that a very difficult decision to make, especially as Marcus had been in the starting five and Chip had a very strong game against Plymouth?
Yeah, as a coach, that's possibly the worst part of the job that you have. These are young guys that have been working towards this dream for years and years from the time they first picked up a basketball. So to sit in a room and tell them that this particular part of the journey ends for them is not an easy one. With Chip, he was a pass-first point guard, and we are trying to get him to score more. Which wasn't natural to him, but he did have some good games for us, and so I know that he'll make another team pretty solid, probably in Europe where they love pass first point guards to do a specific role. Marcus, on the other hand, I think Marcus is a super talent. My big thing to Marcus when he left was talking about him, being honest with himself, and making that commitment to himself, because he showed glimpses of what he is capable of, but it was just not consistent enough for us. Because of the changes we had made the year before, we didn't really want to have people coming in and leave. But in Ryan's case, was somebody that we knew our offense. We knew that he is good in the locker room, on the side of the court. And his contribution on the court might not have been as much as we all would have liked, and that was due to the injuries. But is an experienced person that makes a big difference for us off the court. They play this game for money. They don't play forever. So when a big opportunity comes through that it's almost 10 times what we can offer, you got to understand that he's going to have to go. We're going to take it one game at a time, but playoffs is definitely a target that we have in mind. But we want to aim high as we possibly can. We could make the playoffs in 8th place out of 12 teams. That could be success making the playoffs because of what happened last year. But if we want to continue to make progression, we got to be aiming for what we did. The one year we had a great balance of players like Tony Hicks, Alex Awumi, Gerald Robinson, Jordan Williams, Elias, Levi. That group was probably one of the best groups we've had at Scorchers. So we want to try and get up into that top 5 again. We aren't going out there trying to lose games. We are genuinely going out there to win games. And as we said in the beginning, the key part for us is you can just throw a whole lot of money at it and win. But, are we going to have a club a year from now or 2 years from now if we just go crazy with the money? So a big part of what I have to do is try and balance up what goes on the court, and I also have to balance what goes on in the community. And sometimes the guys that are great in the community aren't going to be those go-to guys on the court. So you need to have that balance, and sometimes people don't understand that in order to compete, you do need money, but we just want to be sustainable, and we are improving each year, and we are doing more in the community. We're always trying to get more sponsors. We put on a great show. I think the Sports Park is one of the best venues in the league. The atmosphere-wise. But when people come in, the perception is everything's in place, but we're always trying to grow. We're always trying to bring in more sponsors. We're always trying to do more in the community. So we always reaching out and appeal to our fans that if they know people that want to be able to support us, that's always going to make a difference for us. It's a pressure thing working an environment where you want to make sure that everything's working on the court, off the court, and so forth. But that's part of what my job as director of basketball is, and so I've got to just learn how to balance it, make sure I've got the right people, the right support mechanisms around me, so I don't overdo things. But going into 2020, we want to be successful. I think we've got a very good team. You've got to dream big if you want to achieve things. So, until we mathematically can't win a championship, we're going to be fighting to try and be in that conversation. People might count us out, but we've got to have self-belief in what we're trying to do. Our fans, I can't say enough about our true fans who are with us, through thick and thin. Last season was a real tough one for any fan to be part of, but they kept on coming back. And this year too, a lot of new faces, but a lot of familiar faces who continuously support the guys and support the organization. And I have nothing but love and respect and appreciation for everything that they do for us. I hope they all had a great Christmas, and I hope that, wish them the best for the new year. And hopefully we can have some fun times together at the sports bar.